Welcome to Scrub In, a podcast where purpose meets care. We are more than just a podcast. We are real stories of hope, expert health advice, and inspiring conversations with the people behind the scrubs.
This podcast will leave you informed, inspired, and reminded of the purpose that connects us all. It's the voice of humanity in healthcare, uplifting, honest, and full of heart.
Featuring hosts Dr. Kendall Barton, Keisha Morris, and Alice Roush. You can listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and YouTube. Or visit bayhealth.org/scrubin to learn more. Now, let's scrub in. Here's our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Scrub In. I'm Alice Roush, joined by Keisha Morris today, and welcome to our new and returning listeners. Happy to be here today.
It's so good to be here with you, Alice, and I'm so excited for the topic that we're going to talk about today. It's one that we enjoy talking about, especially at the top of the year, all about wellness. So I can't wait to get started. And as you know, we always like to start our podcast with a quote. So here's the quote for today's podcast. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And that's by Robert Collier. And that's so true, right?
So true, and so very true. Important on the topic that we're going to discuss today. Absolutely. Is sustainable long-term health.
Yes, that's so important. We get in a place where we want to be healthy, but it's all about sustaining that. That's really key.
A lot of New Year's resolutions this time of year, and people think about a quick fix, but what happens when, it's no longer January or February,
right.
and
you lose momentum, and it's just like, what do I do now? Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for this topic because we're going to learn about sustainable ways to be able to maintain that wonderful wellness momentum that most people have started. And I can't wait to have this discussion with our very own Michelle Devern, who is our nurse practitioner in our outpatient services. So can't wait to get started with that. So Michelle, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and letting us know who you are.
Hi, Keisha, Alice, thanks for having me. So my name is Michelle. I am a nurse practitioner here at Bay Health. I've been here 19 and a half years. I started out as a nurse and worked my way through Milford Hospital, Kent General, care management, and then outpatient in primary care. So it's been great. I am an avid CrossFitter, new to cycling. I have an 18-year-old named Andrew and went through my own health and wellness journey. So it's something I'm very passionate and excited to talk about.
Good, that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about your own health and wellness journey.
So as I became a nurse practitioner, I teach prevention. So I'm like, hey, eat right, exercise. I was 330 pounds telling my patients to do all of these things, and I was not practicing them myself. So I realized that I need to practice what I preach. I can't tell people to do these things, and I'm not doing that myself. So and in primary care, it's all about prevention. So that's where it starts. So that's kind of helped me maintain focus and help with my life changes. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about what really got you started. I know you mentioned you were on your own fitness journey, but what was that one key thing that made you say, hey, I really need to start practice what I'm preaching?
So 3.5 years ago, I went to an amusement park with my son, and we got on a roller coaster, and I did not fit on the roller coaster. It broke my heart. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. And just to see the look on my son's face, but also just how I felt, that was my turning point. And I said, I need to do something. So I don't want to live like this, and I don't want to set that example for my child either. So.
That's powerful. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great point to just kind of start and make that decision to do something different. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. So what was the first thing you did when you had that aha moment?
So I thought, I need to join the gym. I need to be active. So I joined the gym, and I was going every day for 3 months. I only lost 10 pounds. I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand. And so I talked with a coach, and he's like, it's more than just working out. He's like, you have to work on your nutrition. You have to work on all of these things. And so after that, I met with a nutritionist, started working with them, and then started to go to therapy to work on my relationship with food and making small changes that I could sustain long term.
So that's awesome. So it sounds like you did all the right things. How did you know to do that? Did someone walk you through, going to a nutrition coach and going to therapy to help you kind of with your relationship with food? What was that like for you? How did you get started on that journey?
So with the gym, I went there years and years ago, probably in 2019. So I had been there before, and I just said, I need to I'm going to go back there and see if that helps me. And everybody there was very supportive, and they kind of talked me through. They're like, you need to work on this, you need to work on this. And it wasn't an all at one time. They just gradually encouraged me to reach whatever my goals were. And so just offering pointers, offering help, and they knew networking, and they knew people who knew people, like a nutrition coach. And then somebody else mentioned a therapist who specializes with obesity management and eating disorders and things, and just people's relationship with food. And so that got me connected with them. And I actually used Bay Health Employee Assistance Line to get started with nutrition therapy and continued after that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What are some of the small tips, that you may have learned, like realistic tips that have helped you now that you've started this journey that you can even share with your patients?
I think the biggest thing that I talk to patients about is consistency over perfection. So we're not going to be perfect every day, every meal, but the biggest thing is just staying consistent. So not Monday through Thursday, I'm going to eat well and exercise and then ruin it all on the weekend. So just staying consistent all of the time, not just the first month, because we're so excited and we're motivated. Motivation is easy. The rest of it is hard.
Motivation is easy, but staying consistent is so very difficult. So as a healthcare provider, talk to us a little bit about what does it mean to be sustainable in these efforts, and some practice tips that you can give us to be able to do that.
So I think the biggest difference between sustainable and quick fixes is you need to incorporate your real life. What is going on in your real life? So you can say, I'm going to go to the gym every day and I'm going to eat healthy and exercise, but really it's, can you do that? So people have kids, we have lives, we have work, we have all these other things. So just doing small goals, saying I'm going to move for 3 days this week. I'm going to walk for 30 minutes, whether that's first thing in the morning or on my lunch hour. Just doing those things, make sure that you incorporate that into your real life. But if you start, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, that's not, something sustainable. You're going to go extreme. So just starting with small goals that you can incorporate in your own life. And whether that means, on Sunday, I'm going to make my lunches for this week so I don't eat out and all of that. So you just taking a half hour to an hour to do that. So just something small that you can do. And these small habits over time, once you get used to that, then you do another habit and then another habit. And so incorporating those things into what your real life routine looks like makes it more sustainable than I'm going to cut out all carbs and I'm going to go to the gym every day. So just small little things.
So if I was going to start a new workout routine, can you walk me through what would be the best way for me to get started, especially with it relates to actual goals in terms of movement, but also you mentioned lifestyle habits. And so how would you best go about that, being able to set that for yourself and set those goals around those areas?
I think need to focus on interventions and actions versus goals. So long-term goals. So long-term, like I said, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. No. So let's focus on actions. What can you do right now? So to get started, I think the biggest thing that people underrate is sleep. So getting proper sleep so your body's restful to tackle whatever you're going to do the next day. So it really does help. And then after that, just start with some physical activity. So whether that means I'm going to walk for 20 minutes a day. You don't have to go to the gym and do these extreme exercises and programs. You can use what you have at home, and there's plenty of things online, on YouTube that you can do right at home. So you don't need fancy equipment. You can just use your body weight. So, but moving for 20 to 30 minutes a day for 3 days a week. So just start there. And as you start to move more, you get more motivated, you're physically active, the diet changes will start to come. And like I said, whether that's, all right, I'm not going to eat out every day. I'm going to eat out only on Fridays or Saturdays, or I'm going to pack my lunches this week. And another thing that people underestimate is breakfast. Because a lot of times I'm not hungry in the morning, I'm getting the kids out the door, I got to rush to work. But if you just prepare your breakfasts, even if you do it on Sunday before for the whole week, just having breakfast gets your metabolism going, gets those cortisol levels down, and just gets you ready to tackle the day.
That's great advice. I know I always skip breakfast too, so it's being able to hear you need to eat breakfast is always a good thing.
But when you start thinking about what you're eating too, sometimes if you're tracking your food, which I don't know if you would recommend, that might be another question, but if you are looking at what you eat, making sure that you are eating enough, because sometimes when people are doing a diet per se, they cut out food and they're not getting enough to sustain their energy.
Yeah. Yes, I have a patient who said, I eat all the time. I eat right, I exercise. And that's why I say, track your food. MyFitnessPal is one that I use all the time, and it's free. And my patients use that app, and I look at their food logs with that for them. Usually before their appointment or in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, I give them, and we go over it. And they're eating 1,300 calories. And I'm like, so you're trying to work out. You're just eating so little, because we have this mentality, if I eat less and move more, I'm going to lose weight. And that's not always the case. So, and then other patients who say, I don't eat that much. But then when you look and they eat one meal at a fast food restaurant, that could be up to 1,400 calories. So they're getting their daily calories in one meal. So just tracking that is amazing. You can see how much protein you're taking in. Fast food is definitely, there are healthy options. I mean, I still eat out. I have a teenage boy, so he loves to eat out. So I still eat out, but just make sure I incorporate that into whatever else I'm going to eat the rest of the day. So that's sustainable for me and for others, but just to be mindful of what you are eating.
So where would one go to be able to find out what should be their daily intake per calories for the day, or what should be their protein intake?
So there is a website. It's TDEE for your total daily expenditure calories, and you put in your age, your weight, and kind of what your goals are, how active you are, whether you're lightly active, not active at all, moderately, and it will give you an approximation. It's not 100%, but an approximation of what your calories should be per day. And then at the bottom it says, well, if you would like to lose weight, cut by 500 calories, and this is how much protein and carbs, moderate carb option, low carb option, or a high carb option, depending on what you are. And it will give you kind of a count. And then you can put those goals right into a tracking app that is free, such as MyFitnessPal, and it will help you keep track on your goals and monitor what your intake is.
That's awesome.
It's so interesting that you talked earlier too about a psychological component to all of this. Like we can track our food and do all the right things. Maybe weighing yourself every day is not a great idea. That might be hard on your mental health. Do you have a recommendation for how to take care of your mental health when you're in this process?
I think counseling is great for everybody. A lot of times, and this is something that I struggle with and my patients struggle with as well, is we kind of eat our feelings. So if we're happy, we eat. If we're social, we want to go out with friends, we eat. If we're sad, we eat. So learning ways to cope with that, with different emotions versus just, hey, I'm going to go out or eat. It really helps. Weighing yourself every day can drive you crazy. So at the most once per week, even if it's every other week, because it fluctuates based on what we've eaten, what women are hormones, everything is can fluctuate. So every day you might see the scale go up 2 pounds one day and then down 4 the next day, and sometimes it's just neurotic. So yeah.
Well, Michelle, you talked a little bit about going out to eat. So I know I'm a girly. I like to go out to eat all the time. What are some tips that someone should really consider if they are going out to eat but want to maintain, kind of their goals and really eat better to be able to sustain the momentum that they currently have?
Yeah. So my biggest thing is, one, eat if you're hungry. So
that's
just
so
because
good.
If you're in a social setting and there's a plate of food on the table for everybody, you don't have to grab at it.
That's true.
But also take into account, one, if you have planned to go out to eat, watch what you eat the rest of the day. So for breakfast, I might have a lighter breakfast and lunch because I know I might overindulge or have a little bit of extra calories with dinner. Secondly, now all the menus are required to post the calorie content on there. So just making sure if you track out on the app, just keeping into account those calories that you see there, and swap it for a lower calorie option versus having the big fried thing on the middle, for an appetizer. So, and also you don't have to clean your plate. So just because you eat a little bit and you're full, just call it a day and box it up and take it home or leave it. It's okay. one of the biggest things going through therapy is I did grow up with that mentality. As a child, you had to clean your plate, and so that's what I would do. So now we serve dinner on a small salad plate, and it's okay to not have to clean your plate now.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great tip.
So Michelle, tell us a little bit about what got you started in healthcare as a career to begin with.
So as a teenager, my mother was sick and unfortunately passed, and I was caring for her the last couple months of her life, and I was surrounded by wonderful nurses through hospice and other organizations and hospital, and it was touching. And they just supported our family and just treated our family as a whole and not just her as a patient. And it just really sparked something in me that I want to be that person. So that's what I did, and I started as a nurse, and my focus has completely changed over the last 20 years of what healthcare is, but I wanted to make an impact on somebody's life just the way it was made on mine.
Do you have any examples of patients that stand out to you that maybe you did make that impact in their life?
So, yes, in this wellness journey, so a lot of patients, there's GLP-1s for weight loss, and a patient had been struggling with her weight her whole life, just as I have, and we had a conversation about it. She was agreeable. She has lost over 70 pounds. Wow. She came into the office, and we were talking, and I was telling her how proud I was of her because it wasn't just her weight. Her labs had significantly improved. Her cholesterol was down. Her health was better. She didn't have as much pain anymore in her joints, and she was crying and just so happy. And I was glad to be there for her in that moment. And I think that's what keeps me going into what I do. I build the relationships with patients. So healthcare is vulnerable, and it's a very sensitive topic, and people are uncomfortable sometimes talking about it. But when you build that trust with the patient, they come in and they tell you all the things. So I build the relationships with patients, and they realize that I'm there to support them. So when they incorporate their whole life into their health, they're more engaged, they're empowered, and I love empowering them because they keep me motivated as well.
That's a fantastic answer. That's inspiring to know all of that and to really kind of hear the impact that you're having on our patients one at a time, which I think is fantastic.
Thinking of the other people you'll inspire just from sharing your story here with us on this podcast as well.
Absolutely. So we've had a great discussion today, and you shared so many things, so many tips, so many practical ways to be able to approach your wellness journey. And I'm just curious, if you could share with us how to support others who may be facing challenging starting a health journey, or really just getting started, getting motivated to be able to go into this new adventure of getting well on all levels.
I think the biggest thing is meeting your body where it's at today. So take into account your mental health, your physical health, what your stress load is, and then develop a plan based on where you are at today, not where you want to be. So if you want to be 50, 30 pounds lighter, you need to start with where you are today to get to that goal. And so, as I said before, just make small changes. Don't try to change everything at once, because if you do, it's not sustainable. It's not a long-term thing. So being consistent and meeting your body and giving yourself some grace, and just know that you're not going to be perfect all the time, but you make small changes that you say, hey, if I'm having a bad week and I can only do something at 50%, that's all I can give, can I still do this? And if you can, then do it. But if you can't, then don't, because you're going to feel like a failure when you set yourself up for failure from the beginning.
What if perhaps you are not the person that has to lose weight? If maybe you are trying to support a family member or loved one that is starting a weight loss journey, do you have suggestions for how to maybe change the whole family dynamic to live a healthier life?
Yeah. I think supporting the person who's on the journey in what their changes are, because it's going to be different. And so just not telling them, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Just allow them to come to you, tell you their goals, be supportive, and just listen. The biggest thing is listening. So everybody has advice on how you're going to do things and what you're going to do, but allowing the person to feel where they're at, making their changes, just support them and encourage them.
Well, if someone wants to schedule an appointment with you or your practice, how would you suggest they get in touch with you?
So they simply call the office, leave a message, and let them know that you are ready and to start your health journey, and I'd be happy to help you along the way. And they'll get the message to me, and we can start together.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Michelle, for joining us today. We really enjoyed this time with you and learning all about you, as well as your passion, and also all the tips that you've given us today. I know that it's been very impactful and will be helpful to many. So thank you again for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to this episode of Scrub In.
Thanks for listening to Scrub In, where we bring purpose and care to every conversation.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen.
Stay connected, stay informed, and stay inspired right here with Scrub In.